Imagine this: Arnold Schwarzenegger, the invincible Terminator, the undisputed king of action cinema, the governor who ruled California, a global icon who defined an era, now scraping by with fleeting cameos in streaming flops and low-budget obscurities. How does a legend, a titan who once commanded the world's biggest stage, plummet to the margins of relevance? This is the raw, unfiltered epic of Arnold's staggering fall from Hollywood's summit, a saga of missteps, aging, scandals, and an industry that discards even its brightest stars without a backward glance. Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't just a celebrity, he was a phenomenon, a one-man empire. From bodybuilding to blockbuster stardom to political heavyweight, he seemed untouchable. But the 2000s and 2010s delivered a brutal reality check. His films tanked, his leading man aura faded, and Hollywood turned its back. Why? A lethal cocktail of political baggage, disastrous movie choices, an aging physique, and an industry obsessed with youth, franchises, and instant returns. This is the exhaustive dive into how Arnold lost his crown and what it reveals about fame, time, and a business that chews up its heroes. Born in 1947 in Thal, a sleepy Austrian village, Arnold was an unlikely candidate for global domination. He arrived in America in 1968 with $20, a gym bag, and relentless ambition. Bodybuilding was his springboard. At 23, he won Mr. Olympia in 1970, seizing the title 7 times by 1980. His 6 feet 2 inches, 250-pound frame, pure, sculpted muscle, made him a spectacle. But Arnold's dreams dwarfed the gym. He craved Hollywood, wealth, and power. His film career ignited with Conan the Barbarian, 1982, a sword and sorcery epic that grossed $130 million worldwide on a $20 million budget. His raw physicality captivated audiences. Then came The Terminator, 1984, a sci-fi masterpiece by James Cameron. Made for $6.4 million, it earned $78 million and birthed an iconic line, "I'll be back." Arnold's charisma, despite a thick accent and limited acting range, turned him into a star. He cemented his dominance with Commando, 1985, a one-man army flick grossing $57 million, Predator, 1987, a sci-fi thriller earning $98 million, and Total Recall, 1990, a mind-bending hit with $261 million. By 1991, Terminator 2, Judgment Day grossed $520 million, making him Hollywood's unrivaled action king. Arnold wasn't confined to action. He flexed comedic chops in Twins, 1988, grossing $216 million, and Kindergarten Cop, 1990, earning $202 million. He produced films, invested in real estate, and wrote fitness books. By 2003, his net worth was estimated at $200 million. He was a brand, muscular, cigar-chomping, larger-than-life. His one-liners, "Hasta la vista, baby," became cultural touchstones. In 2003, Arnold stunned the world by running for governor of California in the recall election. Campaigning as a moderate Republican, he leveraged his fame and action hero persona. Voters ate it up. He won with 48.6% of the vote, defeating 134 candidates. From 2003 to 2011, he governed America's most populous state, tackling a $38 billion budget deficit, championing green energy, and reforming health care. To fans, it was mythic, an action star running California like a superhero. But Hollywood thrives on visibility, and Arnold was absent for 8 years. While he governed, a new guard emerged. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson broke out in The Scorpion King, 2002, $180 million, and dominated with Fast 5, 2011, $626 million. Chris Hemsworth launched Marvel's Dynasty with Thor, 2011, $449 million. These stars were franchise builders, securing roles for decades. Arnold, stuck in Sacramento, was out of touch. Governing wasn't easy. His budget cuts to education and social services sparked protests. His push for stem cell research and climate policies earned praise, but controversies mounted. By 2011, his approval rating plummeted to 22%, per Gallup polls, as economic woes frustrated voters. Then came the scandal. In 2011, it was revealed he'd fathered a child, Joseph Baena, with his housekeeper, Mildred Baena, 14 years earlier. The news ended his 25-year marriage to Maria Shriver and shattered his family man image. Tabloids feasted, and his likability, a key Hollywood currency, crumbled. When Arnold left office in 2011, he was 63, battered by politics and personal failures. He believed he could waltz back into Hollywood and reclaim his throne. He was gravely mistaken. Arnold's return was hyped as a second coming. Fans expected the Terminator to conquer the box office. Instead, he crashed spectacularly. His first role was a cameo in The Expendables, 2010, a nostalgic action romp led by Sylvester Stallone. It grossed $274 million, but Arnold's brief appearance was fan service, not a comeback. His first starring role was The Last Stand, 2013, a $45 million action flick about a sheriff battling a drug cartel. Directed by Kim Ji-woon, it had promise but grossed just $48 million worldwide, barely breaking even. Critics called it generic, Rotten Tomatoes, 61%, and audiences ignored it. Escape Plan, 2013, a prison break thriller with Stallone, had a $50 million budget and earned $137 million globally, respectable, but no blockbuster. Critics noted the chemistry but slammed the predictable plot, Rotten Tomatoes, 50%. Sabotage, 2014, was a catastrophe. The $35 million DEA thriller grossed $18 million. Critics tore it apart, Rotten Tomatoes, 21%, calling Arnold's performance wooden and the story a mess. Maggie, 2015, a low-budget zombie drama, was a daring shift. Arnold played a father protecting his infected daughter in a $4 million film that earned less than $2 million. Despite decent reviews, Rotten Tomatoes, 60%, Maggie faded fast. The pattern was undeniable. Arnold's name no longer moved tickets. His films clung to 80s-style action, explosions, cheesy one-liners, macho bravado. But the 2010s belonged to superhero franchises and nuanced dramas. The Avengers, 2012, grossed $1.5 billion, redefining blockbusters. The Dark Knight Rises, 2012, earned $1.1 billion with complex characters. Arnold's mid-budget shoot-'em-ups couldn't rival CGI spectacles or modern storytelling. His age was glaring. At 65, he wasn't the ripped Terminator. His slower movements, weathered face, and visible wrinkles clashed with the invincible image fans expected. Hollywood rarely casts aging leads. Liam Neeson thrived with Taken, 2008, $226 million, but Arnold's films lacked that spark. The industry had transformed. Streaming platforms like Netflix were rising, and theatrical releases demanded massive returns. Arnold's mid-budget films didn't fit the model of $200 million tentpoles or cheap indies. His fanbase, now in their 40s and 50s, wasn't enough to fill theaters. Younger audiences, raised on Marvel and TikTok, didn't connect with his retro vibe. In 2013, 59% of US moviegoers were under 35, per the MPAA. Arnold was a stranger in a new era. By the mid-2010s, he wasn't headlining. He was a supporting player or ensemble member. The Expendables 2, 2012, and The Expendables 3, 2014, leaned on nostalgia, packing in Stallone, Bruce Willis, and Jet Li. Expendables 2 grossed $315 million, but Expendables 3 stumbled at $214 million on a $90 million budget, hurt by a PG-13 rating and a pirated leak. Arnold's roles were glorified cameos. Fans loved the nostalgia, but it couldn't sustain a franchise. His biggest shot was Terminator Genisys, 2015, a reboot of his iconic series. With a $155 million budget and a convoluted time travel plot, it aimed to revive the franchise. Arnold played an aging T-800 with gray hair and a Guardian backstory. The film grossed $440 million, not a total bomb, but far below Terminator 2's $520 million. Critics savaged it, Rotten Tomatoes, 26%, and fans rejected the retconned lore. Terminator, Dark Fate, 2019, was his final swing. Marketed as a true sequel to Terminator 2, it reunited him with Linda Hamilton and James Cameron, producer. Arnold's T-800, now a drapery salesman named Carl, mixed nostalgia with self-parody. The $185 million film grossed $261 million, a financial flop. Critics were kinder, Rotten Tomatoes, 70%, praising the action, but audiences stayed away. The franchise was shelved, and Arnold's last tie to his glory days was cut. Aftermath, 2017, a drama about a man grieving after a plane crash, was a rare non-action role. With a $10 million budget, it earned $1 million and drew mixed reviews, Rotten Tomatoes, 42%. Killing Gunther, 2017, a comedy where he played a hitman, went straight to streaming and flopped, Rotten Tomatoes, 48%. His cameo in Iron Mask, 2019, a bizarre fantasy flick with Jackie Chan, was forgettable. By 2020, Arnold was reduced to bit parts in projects like Kung Fury 2, 2021, a low-budget retro short. The King of Hollywood was a shadow. Arnold's fall wasn't just about bad films. Hollywood had evolved. The 2010s were about franchises, streaming, and youth. Stars like Chris Pratt, Ryan Reynolds, and Zendaya, young, versatile, social media savvy, dominated. The Rock, at 40 in 2015, built an empire with Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, 2017, $962 million. Arnold, pushing 70, was a relic. His hypermasculine image, muscles, cigars, bravado, clashed with the 2010s' demand for diverse, relatable heroes. Black Panther, 2018, $1.3 billion, and Captain Marvel, 2019, $1.1 billion, had cultural weight and fresh faces. Arnold's pivots failed. Maggie showed dramatic potential but lacked reach. Killing Gunther aimed for comedy but missed. Critics noted his limited range. He was typecast as an action hero, but that archetype was fading. The industry wanted stars who could anchor franchises for decades. Age was brutal. Hollywood rarely bets on leads over 60. Stallone reinvented himself with Creed, 2015, $173 million, passing the torch to Michael B. Jordan. Arnold had no such vehicle. His physique couldn't hide the years. Fans noticed the wrinkles, the slower gait. Studios hesitated to bet on a 70-year-old lead. In 2019, 67% of U.S. moviegoers were under 35, per the MPAA. Arnold's core fans, in their 40s and 50s, weren't enough. Younger audiences, glued to TikTok and Marvel, didn't care about a 70-year-old bodybuilder. The 2011 scandal lingered. His affair and secret child shattered his family man image. Hollywood banks on likability, and Arnold's brand was tainted. Studios saw him as risky, especially as his films bombed. His political past polarized. As a Republican governor, he alienated some liberal Hollywood execs and fans. His moderate stances frustrated conservatives. He was stuck in a no-man's land. Streaming offered a lifeline, but it wasn't salvation. Arnold's Netflix series Fubar, 2023, a spy comedy, was a moderate hit, with 266 million hours viewed in its first month, per Netflix. Reviews were tepid, Rotten Tomatoes, 52%, and it didn't spark a cultural moment like Stranger Things. At 75, Arnold was still grinding, but the industry had little use for him. Blockbusters starred Hemsworth or Tom Holland. Arnold's cameos were consolation prizes. Arnold hasn't surrendered. He's pivoted beyond Hollywood. His social media presence is massive, 25 million Instagram followers and 1.5 million YouTube subscribers as of 2025. His fitness content, motivational speeches, and environmental activism keep him relevant. He's a fixture at the Arnold Sports Festival, drawing thousands. His newsletter, Pump Club, has 500,000 subscribers, offering daily fitness tips. In FUBAR, he played a seasoned spy guiding younger characters, mirroring his real-life role as a fitness mentor. Rumors of a Conan reboot or True Lies sequel persist, but studios are skeptical. At 77, Arnold's window for a big-screen comeback is narrow. A streaming hit or producer role might keep him in the game, but leading man status is gone. Arnold's story is a stark lesson in fame's fragility. He was a titan, bodybuilder, actor, governor, but time spares no one. Hollywood discards what doesn't sell. His political absence, scandals, and aging physique made him a risky bet. His films, trapped in a dated mold, couldn't compete with modern blockbusters. Yet, his resilience, pivoting to fitness, activism, and digital platforms, shows he's not out. In 1991, Terminator 2 grossed $520 million. In 2019, Dark Fate limped to $261 million. In the 80s, Arnold was action's face. By 2020, he was a cameo king. His fall mirrors others, Bruce Willis, Eddie Murphy, who faded as tastes changed. But Arnold's legacy endures. He redefined action films, inspired millions, and governed a state. Hollywood may have moved on, but his mark is indelible. What's next? A FUBAR Season 2 is in the works. A mentor role in a new franchise could work. The throne he held belongs to others. Arnold's journey, from Austrian immigrant to global icon to Hollywood outcast, is a saga of ambition, triumph, and time's relentless march. Even legends fade, but the best find new ways to shine. Arnold's not done fighting, but his Hollywood reign is a distant memory. His story is a mirror for an industry that worships the new and forgets the old. No matter how bright they once burned, Arnold Schwarzenegger's fall from Hollywood's pinnacle was a brutal lesson in the industry's fleeting loyalty, but his story doesn't end with faded stardom. At 77, the man who once ruled action cinema, bodybuilding, and California's political stage is still clawing for relevance. Refusing to be sidelined, he's carved out new paths, digital platforms, activism, and mentorship, while grappling with an entertainment world that's left him behind. This is the next chapter, Arnold's relentless bid to redefine his legacy in a landscape that no longer bows to legends. The 2020s have been a mixed bag for Arnold. Hollywood's doors are largely closed to him as a leading man, but he's found a lifeline in streaming. His Netflix series FUBAR, 2023, a spy comedy where he plays a retiring CIA operative, marked a shift. The show wasn't a cultural juggernaut like Squid Game, but it pulled 266 million hours viewed in its first month, per Netflix data. Critics were lukewarm, Rotten Tomatoes, 52%, calling it serviceable, but dated, with Arnold's charm carrying a predictable plot. Fans, especially older ones, ate it up, nostalgic for his gruff humor. Netflix greenlit a second season, slated for 2026, signaling Arnold still has pull, just not on the big screen. FUBAR's moderate success highlights a broader trend: streaming platforms value recognizable names, even if they're past their prime. Unlike theatrical releases, which demand massive returns, Netflix and Amazon can bank on Arnold's brand to draw niche audiences. His role as a seasoned mentor, guiding younger spies, mirrors his off-screen persona. At 77, he's no longer the indestructible T-800, but he can play the grizzled veteran, dispensing wisdom with a wink. This pivot suits him, though it's a far cry from headlining Terminator 2. Beyond acting, Arnold has leaned hard into digital spaces. His social media empire is formidable, 25 million Instagram followers, 5.5 million on X, and 1.5 million YouTube subscribers as of 2025. His content spans fitness tutorials, motivational rants, and glimpses into his life, from pumping iron to petting his mini donkey, Lulu. His Pump Club newsletter, with 500,000 subscribers, delivers daily fitness and wellness tips, blending science with his trademark bravado. A recent post urging fans to lift heavy, love deeply, went viral, racking up 2 million views. This digital hustle keeps him relevant, especially among Gen X and older millennials who grew up on Predator. His YouTube channel is a goldmine. Videos like How I Built My Biceps or Life Lessons from the Terminator regularly hit 500,000 views. He's not just preaching to nostalgics, younger fitness buffs, drawn to his bodybuilding legacy. Tune in. Arnold's savvy here is undeniable,